we're here to protect you and the ones that you love. It's a good feeling to know that our efforts aren't going unnoticed.
It actually brought tears to my eyes to know that we have this support.
You're welcome. I must just say you're welcome. It's stressful, but we're not going anywhere.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Bucknell Women's Basketball Through the Years. Today, we have a special edition for the decade of the 1990s, and we're joined by three great guests who will spend some time talking with Coach Woodruff, and I'm going to introduce each of them, and then once I do that, I'll turn the call over to Coach Woodruff, and we'll get right into things. So our first guest from the class of 1996 is Casey Vla. Casey is the program's only, in the entire history of the women's basketball program, she's the only three-time team captain that Bucknell women's basketball has ever had. She has three, to this day, she still has three of the top 10 season steal marks, and she ranks second on the all-time steals list for Bucknell with 312. Our second guest is Kim Delfs, now known as Kim Delfs Watkins, class of 1999. She was a member of the Patriot League All-Rookie team as a freshman. She was All-Patriot League second team as a sophomore. She had 1,016 career points, which ranks 24th on Bucknell's all-time career list. And our guest today is Lori Hauk Steigerwald, class of 2000. When she played, she was known as Lori Hauk, obviously. Patriot League All-Rookie team as a freshman. All-Patriot League second team selection as a sophomore. All-Patriot League first team selection as both a junior and a senior. She was team captain as a senior, earned the Patriot League Scholar Athlete of the Year award for women's basketball, and then also the Patriot League Female Scholar Athlete for the entire league that year as well. She had 1,447 career points, which ranks eighth all-time right now, and she is in the Bucknell Athletics Hall of Fame. So we've got a great group of women to have some fun with today, and Coach, I'm going to turn it over to you, and let's get going.
Well, thanks, Todd. I appreciate it. Always a great opportunity to get to meet some folks for the first time. I've heard a lot of the names, so we can put some faces with names. As a 1999 college graduate, this is the best decade, so I'm with you guys. I will say Kim is a 99 graduate. She looks way younger than me, which doesn't seem fair.
Thank you.
As we've gone through these kind of conversations through the decades, it has become more evident to me that I should just open the floor and let you guys tell stories. I think that may make for better entertainment. But we have a process, and that is to throw some questions out there. So hopefully you won't hold back. I want to hear some of the good stuff. But we'll start with Casey, okay, just to be organized here. We'll start with Casey. So take us back as you were going through your process, determining where you were going to go. How did you end up at Bucknell?
Oh my gosh, we got to go way back. It was a decision. Well, I was introduced to Bucknell driving back from a basketball camp, like when I was in high school. And then I found out later that my mom had always been interested in going to Bucknell. So it sort of was something that came into our family. And then the decision process was between Bucknell or Miami University, where all my family went. Like my parents met there and my sister, brother, all the way to like aunts and uncles all went to Miami University. So it came down to decision day. Do I want to go to Miami? And I was possibly run track, or go to Bucknell and play basketball. And I think it came down to like the last hour where Kathy Gaylor, at the time, was calling. And it was my mom who said, well, give Bucknell a chance and see, how it goes. And I think it was the best decision that I ever made. It was, I never looked back. It was an awesome school, awesome academically, from a sports perspective too, and all the friends.
Great. Kim, you're next. Same question. Everybody's going to get a chance to answer all of them. So same question, just your process and landing at Bucknell. How did it all work out?
Mine was really all due to my high school coach. My high school coach had a former player that played at Bucknell, Monica Nowarskis, now Monica Trout. Casey, was she your year? I can't remember. No, a year ahead.
Monica was a year older, or
A year older. Yeah. So she was a year older than Casey, and she went to my high school. And so my high school coach had a relationship with Julene Simpson at the time, and just kind of through that relationship, that's how Julene found out about me and the recruiting process happened. And when the second I went to the Bucknell campus, I knew, I just knew right away that was it. I was like, yep, this is where I'm going. That's how easy it was for me as soon as I stepped on campus.
And Coach, a little trivia, Kim and I are like neighbors growing, neighborhood. We played each other, right? Or
I didn't play varsity as a freshman, or else I would have played.
But our teams played each other in high school, and her coach used to make fun of me and how I blew my bangs up. I used to have bangs, and I'd come down as a point guard and blow them.
You did do that. My high school coach was, just further background on that, was like my father. He walked me down the aisle at my wedding, so he was like integral in getting me to Bucknell.
That's amazing. That's cool.
Well, I don't want to speak for everybody, but we all had bangs in the 80s and 90s, didn't we?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I did. I don't think you grew them out until I got to Bucknell.
Todd, write that down. I think every guest from here on out should have a college or high school picture with them. We should be able to see that side by side.
Well, Casey and Lori look identical, so they would look identical to college. I do not.
No, that's not the case.
Y'all look great. So, okay, Lori, you're up.
So I was looking at schools in high school, mostly in Pennsylvania. I don't know. I'm kind of a homebody, and I think I wanted to stay close. But, I was also looking at, some of the other Patriot League schools, and my recruiting calls started coming out of camps, right? Summer camps. How many summer camps did we do? 20? And I wasn't big into AAU at the time. I did play, but that wasn't really kind of my network. And, I remember visiting Bucknell too, and just kind of knowing this was it. I had visited Lehigh and Lafayette. Both are beautiful schools, and the coaches were great, but I think part of my experience at Bucknell was meeting some of the players and just kind of feeling comfortable among them, and that just really kind of clicking. And I was at that point like determined to make it happen. My parents were, so that's my story, I guess.
Great. Kim, you'll start this one. Tell us, if you can, break it down to just one, but maybe the most memorable experience as part of the women's basketball team.
Oh my gosh.
It probably doesn't have anything to do with a basketball game. That's the problem.
I know. Okay. So I think probably most of my memories come from off the basketball court, obviously, but I will give one on memory basketball court as a freshman. And I already forget the name of were we at Ryder or Marist? I don't know. It was a one-word school. I don't know where we were, but I was a freshman. Casey, you would have been there. You may remember this because I remember Lauren Wagner was a senior.
Oh my
and do you remember what I'm going to say?
No.
There were 13 seconds left on the clock. We were down by 1. And we inbounded the ball to Leslie Blue, who brought it up the court, and the play was drawn up for me as a freshman. I was like, what? And it went inside to me. And at the time, it was early on in the season. So I feel like you're still trying to get in with the upperclassmen and stuff. And they don't really, I don't know. It was one of the first games. I feel like it was early on. I don't know. Anyways, Leslie Blue brought it up the court, got it into me in the post. And I did a turnaround, jumper kind of fade away. And I thought I airballed it when I let it go. And then it jumped around in the rim and fell in as the buzzer went off. And it was
signature move.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And Lauren Wagner, I feel was tough to kind of get to know early on. And I remember in the post-game huddle, she was like, I think we'll keep you. And I was like, awesome. But it's so funny that I can remember her saying that specifically. So it was a really fun moment as a freshman to have that moment and have that memory and be just a part of such a team. There's so many memories off the court. I can't even begin to say them all, but that's one memory on the court.
Great. Lori?
Yeah, I agree, Kim. That's a tough question. I'd
First
say
thing to mind.
I also have a game on the court memory. It was my junior year, and we were playing Holy Cross at Bucknell's at home. I think it was on the tail end of the season, like a kind of a, like an important game, either clenching like our spot in the league or so. I can't remember, but what I do recall is um, it came down to a foul shot. So there was very little time. I don't even know if there was time for them to, you know, take a shot. It was really, I think, down to 2 foul shots, and I was on the line, and I had to make them in order for us to win. It was an overtime. My memory is awful, but it's like it's all coming back. And I remember it was one of my, if not my top scoring game, but it was also my classmates, one of her top scoring game, if not her top, Jen Weinhofer. And so it was just like a magical time. And Davis was packed. Those games, like when, I don't know if everyone's coming in for the men's game or what it was, because we had double headers, but I just remember like the Davis was packed, and there was so much energy, and we had such a fun night that night celebrating, and it was just like the best. So that's probably my
That's awesome.
moment.
Casey?
Oh, I with Lori, that's tough. There are so many. I have 2 that come to mind. So I'll give an off the court first. So I share this with my girls now, is I remember freshman year, our coaches made us do, and I wonder if Lori and Kim, you had this, our coaches made us, we would have ballet, which felt like at 5 a.m. in the morning. Did you do this too?
Oh yeah, with Joey.
Oh, and I
Right,
loved
with Simpson, yeah.
Oh my gosh. And so I
so
remember,
funny.
I think it was freshman year, and it had snowed out, and I slept through my alarm, and I was so nervous of being late. I don't know why I owned penny loafers, but I did. And I put penny loafers on, and I ran across campus so I wouldn't be late. I was sliding everywhere. And then anyway, the whole experience of ballet in the morning with a bunch of basketball all in mirrors. What was the lady's name? Joan?
Joan.
The amazing shorts that tucked up. So anyway, that really stays with me, the ballet. I don't know that I got a lot out of it other than memories. I think that should be, come back if it's not already in the strength and conditioning part of basketball.
Perfect.
It's so funny.
You said you had 2. Do you want to give us the other one? Or?
Yeah, on the court, there was one that I do recall. I'm trying to think of the Naval Academy when we were at playing, and every time I got the boys from the Naval Academy. Wait, am I getting? They would if they were in trouble, I guess they had to go to a women's game. I don't know if you ever heard this. They had all these cadets were in the stadium, and they chose me to heckle. So every time I had the ball, they would scream. And every time I passed it, it would be silent. So I remember that.
That seemed like the worst gym for heckling. I felt like it was hostile there.
Well, probably back
like
then.
Weird.
So long ago. Yeah, that didn't matter then. But yeah, I think it's probably wouldn't go today.
Right.
But it was a fond memory. It was pretty fun.
Great. We're on to the 3rd question. So, Lori, Lori, you're up, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So looking back, is there anything you would have, we're going to leave Dave, your husband, out of this because you met him at Bucknell, but is there anything you
I didn't.
differently? Anything you would have done differently, whether it's basketball or any other part of your Bucknell experience?
Oh boy. Well, first of all, Dave, he graduated before I got there. So maybe technically we did meet there at some event, but anyway, that's just a side note. But anything I would have done differently, I mean, going into college, I thought maybe I'd be a multi-sport athlete, which I think maybe Kim and Casey also maybe had plans or did that too. But I thought maybe I could run track also. And I didn't end up doing it. And I wonder if my experience would have been any different had I tried. But that said, I don't feel like I have any regrets. I don't feel like I missed out. Maybe that was the best. Maybe that was the best thing for me for balance and focus or whatever. So yeah, I mean that would be the one thing that comes to mind. But I'm trying to think of anything else that stands out as like, I wish I had done that, and I can't say that there's anything obvious or glaring, right?
Great.
Yeah.
Casey, I think you're up.
Am I next? All
Yeah.
right. I probably wouldn't have eaten so much bread in the cafe. Like, you used to be able to cut that off. That probably wouldn't have, or pretzels. Back then it was, there was no fat in pretzels, so I used to eat a lot of pretzels. But seriously, as I reflect, it's more of I would have let go of the worry or believe in myself a little bit more. I think I was always, you get in your head in terms of like getting on the court and just making sure to let go of some of that and just enjoy, because it's a short period of time, the 4 years there. And I think that, just having that fun and believing in yourself, because sometimes I think when that shows up, like Lori, I was thinking if you get on the free throw line, like, this is it. That's a cool experience and a story you get to tell. So, enjoy it while you're there.
Great. Kim?
I was actually going to say I was going to change nothing. And then what Blah said, I kind of want to echo what she said. I think I felt the same way. I think you're at a tough age in your life to really believe in yourself. So I think that's a really good one, Blah. I was going to say I wouldn't change anything, but I really do wish that maybe I would have believed a little bit more in just everything, academically and athletically, both. And how I tried the 2-sport thing. It was hard. I ran in one meet. I was so I ran in one meet. I came in third. I think we were all three. Weren't we all three hurdlers? I think we all three were.
Yeah, and I remember you were an example, Kim, just being ahead of me, of it being
hard.
possible. But
I was so injured from my basketball season that track was just I ran in one meet and I was like, oh, I can't do it.
Right,
so don't have that regret, House.
Okay.
Although you could have handled it. Your body could have handled it.
That would have been so fun to all play together. I mean, I know, Kim, we did, but
I know.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so this is for Lori and Kim specifically, because you both married Bucknell graduates who also played varsity sports here. Who has the bragging rights in your house?
Hope, you want to go first?
No, you go. I don't have an answer. Yeah.
Well, first, Kim, show us the chair. Show everybody your chair again.
All right, so this is my husband's chair. I got it for him for, I don't know, some holiday.
Awesome.
Nice.
that is amazing.
Yeah, I love that, Kim.
Chair. Who has the bragging rights? You know what? I think we both. I think we both do. He wished his biggest regret. He would say this. His biggest regret is he wishes he would have chose football. I think football was his better sport, so I think he would have the bragging rights if he did football at Bucknell.
Interesting.
But he chose lacrosse because he got the better package and all of that. So and he had some tough injuries in college. So we just try to keep it humble around here.
So we'll say you, yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to listen. He was can I say a favorite memory about him though? It's my favorite thing on the planet. And in Davis Gym, he sat, and he's sitting out there right now, so I know he can hear me. He sat in the same exact seat in Davis Gym for every single one of my games. He never missed a game. And my senior year on Valentine's Day, we had a game on Valentine's Day, and I decorated his chair all up. So I love that I have that memory with him, that he never missed one of my games at Davis.
Cool.
And when I visited Bucknell, one of my visits, you guys were already an item. I mean, this was a long love affair, these two.
Yeah, it was September. We met September of our freshman year.
Right.
That's cool.
And I don't know. Yeah, for us, I don't know. I could say that Dave remembers everything. Like he can remember what game, who did what, who scored, like what. I feel like his memory is just so good with all the details, whereas I'm like the opposite. So when it comes to storytelling, I mean, he kills it. You know, he can like take everybody back to that moment. You know, whereas I'm a little bit more vague on the details probably. But yeah, I don't know. You have to ask him that.
So we'll say you. That's our story. We're sticking to it.
You know, I say they're very humble. I say them.
Yes.
Well, didn't you say Lori's in the Hall of Fame? Lori, is Dave in the Hall of
I
Fame?
see Lori.
I'm just saying.
I don't. He's not. Not yet. Not yet.
I got you, Lori.
Not
I
yet.
got you.
Yeah. All right. So we'll start with Casey on this one because you got left out of that one. Can you update all of us on what you're doing now? What does life look for you now professionally? Where are you at in your career? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm out in California. I live north of San Francisco. I work for a company called Salesforce. It's a tech company focused on customer success. So within that world, I work in partner enablement. So I'm focused on helping our Salesforce partners understand how to work with us and get trained up so that they can have help with implementations. And then that keeps my plate pretty full. And on top of that, I have 2 girls who are 11 and 13 now. And I love coaching. So I coach my 13-year-old. We went all the way to the championship game this year, and then coronavirus, we didn't get to have our last game. So I call this victory. Yep. We win. So we keep active through basketball. I love still shooting around and things like that, but everything out here seems to be going well.
Lori, are you next? Go ahead, fire away.
I can be, sure.
Yeah.
So I'm currently living in the town that I grew up in, or the county, I should say, in Lancaster. I work from home. I have been for 10 years now, working out of my home, but I've been with ESPN for over 15 years, at least the Disney family. And I work in finance and strategy. So just helping with the financial planning and evaluation of ideas for the company, whether it's rights acquisition or programming changes. I work mostly with the ESPN radio crew, so all the podcasts and on-air things that you hear, I work with that team, and also our Spanish language television network or channel. So that's on the professional front. And on a personal note, obviously Dave and I have been married for a few years. We have 2 kids, one 6, Kate, and one 4, Will. And they certainly keep us busy. And the year we were married, we were living in New York, and we kind of just kept moving further out on the Amtrak line, I guess. That's kind of how I see it. We moved to Delaware or close to, and then just kind of made our way closer to Lancaster, living near my parents, and we really love it.
Awesome. Kim?
Okay, I am living in Maryland. My husband is from Annapolis, and so we made our way back this way. And so we're here between Baltimore and Annapolis. And I own my own clothing boutique. But my pride and joy are my children. They'll be 12, 13, and 14 come August, and they keep me super busy. They're all 3 multi-sport athletes, and my husband coaches football and lacrosse season, and I handle basketball season. And one year, I coached all 3 teams, because of course they're all 3 separate teams. And it was an experience for sure. But I'm happy to be approaching the high school years and be ready to give the coaching reins over. I coached since they were 3, 4, and 5. They were on a team together when they were 3, 4, and 5, a co-ed team. So I coached for all those years, and I am ready to give it up. It is a lot of work.
Okay, so next, what advice would you give our current players? Obviously, you guys have a wealth of experience. What would you tell them if you had them in front of you right now? I lost track. Who's up? Who wants to go?
Repeat the question just because my audio broke in and out.
Sure. So just any advice you would give our current players, whether it's in dealing and healing with the college experience or preparing for life, whatever you think might benefit them.
Who'd you say?
Lori, I forget who's up, but Lori.
I'll go.
Lori. Yeah.
Okay, Lori, you go.
Thinking back to what Vlon and Kim said earlier, just about, not being afraid to try things, or at least have the confidence to, maybe do things outside your comfort zone. So if you have an opportunity, whether it's academically through an internship or a networking, event or whatever it is, take advantage of it. Don't let, your feelings on how you might fit in or this or that kind of form your decision, because there's so many things that you can take advantage of on campus and the Bucknell offers. I feel like, whether it's through the alumni network or things that are on campus, the academic staff, really, there's just so much that you can tap into. So, whether it's just not knowing quite what to do or not feeling totally comfortable, just maybe try to get out of your comfort zone a little bit, just to have some confidence in what you've already accomplished and see it through, because there aren't many times where you regret that, even if the experience wasn't great or what you expected or whatever, it's not lost. It's a learning experience, or, you always take something from it. So, I would say that.
Kim?
I think it goes kind of with what Lori's saying too. I think just cherish every moment. I think you meet people at that time in your life that will be your friends forever. And I know I did. I had 4 teammates that were in my wedding, and obviously I married a Bucknellian. So I feel like you're going to meet long-lasting friendships, and so cherish those friendships and do things with your friends, not just basketball friends, but outside of basketball as well, and do things outside of basketball, because basketball doesn't have to be life. There's a lot beyond that, and there's so much to do. So cherish everything and take every opportunity that you're given, and just really hold on to those, because they're going to be memories that 25 years later you're talking about.
Yeah, I agree. All my friends, I have so many, like a close-knit group of friends from Bucknell that just the friendship that you have there, I think it forms. So I agree with what you're saying, Kim. It's hard to go after Lori and Kim, because I agree with both of those. So to add that, anything to it, just don't get in the way of yourself. And also don't be so serious. So I think this is 4 years where, yeah, you have school and you have basketball, but make sure you have fun and have those experiences. And as we're seeing in this world, things change pretty quickly, and take advantage of what you can when you can. But have fun and enjoy the ride.
Great advice. I don't think our kids lack for fun. I will say that. 2 hours a day.
Get out there.
2 hours a day, they have a headache. That's me in their ear. But other than that, I think they have a lot of fun.
Good.
So just interested to hear how much you're able to follow the program still, and kind of what you've seen, the progress of the program from when you were here to current day. Kim, you could take that.
Okay, I was like, I can take that. I can handle that, because I wish I could follow them more closely. I do. My kids' sports take up all of my time. I used to go to alumni games, and it was so fun, and I really want to get back there and bring my kids to see me out there with everybody. And I did when they were like maybe 3, 4, and 5. But now we can't get away because kids sports are every single weekend. And my coaches would be like, "You're going where? No way. Like, you can't take them away," you know? So that's one of my biggest regrets right now is I wish I could get there more. We often talk about getting back to Bucknell to see either, you know, basketball or men's lacrosse games because, you know, my husband and I, but I wish I could follow more. We try to get to the Naval Academy when you come here. But even that's hard sometimes because we are just in 3 different directions for practices and games, and I wish I could. But I'm follow on Facebook and on Instagram, so I do follow it that way, virtually for sure.
Great. Well, someday we'll get you back here.
I would love to.
They got to see the statue they put up of you out in front of.
No kidding, my jersey retired thanks to Molly Creamer.
Yes. Casey?
In terms of, I think the maturity of the program has really grown and strengthened from what I can see from when we were there to where we are now. So that's awesome to see. And then to Kim's point is, you know, I love the communications that you're sending and the social posts so that we can follow along, because for me, same thing, it's hard to get back to campus, but being able to stay connected through communications is super helpful. And I love this conversation too. It would be nice to see how we can get our team, like our teams together on a more regular basis, even through Zoom, just given all of our busy schedules.
Well, flights are really cheap right now, Casey.
No.
So and parking's easy here on campus.
Well, actually, we may come through this summer because we're coming east. So.
Well, if you do, please let me know. I'd love to meet directly.
Yeah, I'd like to check out my statue too.
Okay, yeah, it's right next to Kim's. But Lori's is in front. We put hers in front.
That's so
Lori,
funny.
go
And
ahead,
I go
take it
every
away.
year to see it. No,
Every year to give it a little touch, show the kids.
Dave and I, Todd knows, Dave and I are back a few times a year for men's games and women's games. It depends on our schedule. Like Kim said, it gets crazy, and I'm sure it'll get crazier, but we try to make, as many games as we can. We love taking the kids. They love the atmosphere, the environment. We love them in it. They get to play on the court after the game, and just they're now to the point, like the ages, I guess, where they'll actually watch some of the game. I'm not like running around the pool chasing them, and we always get our photo in front of the bison statue. So it's kind of like a bit of a tradition now. Actually, I should send you, Todd, the video that we have of them singing Ray Bucknell on our way, like on 15 on our way to one of the games. It's pretty funny. If I remember that, I'll send it to you because it's great. So I don't know. I feel like they know Bucknell, they know what it means to us, and because of, I think, being in attendance and doing that kind of stuff. And then, for us, I feel like our alumni network is so long, like the string on that between, like Dave, obviously has a relationship with KC, like they've been friends, but just kind of expanding to like the older generations for me, but then to the younger generation, we're all connected through the last, or so I feel like we rally a lot. So if something's happening or they're doing well or something, it's kind of like this group, following, and that gets us charged up. And recently Claire DeBoyer, she took a job at ESPN. Maybe she interned, I think, and then so I tried to, connect with her through those phases. I think she's since taken a job at another media company. I could be wrong, but anyway, I really enjoyed that, like just connecting with someone that I didn't really know, but we obviously have this something in common, and helping in that way, or connecting with the program in that way. So that was fun.
Well, I would tell all of you before we finish up with one last question. Really, two things. One is that but I think our program in general really appreciates all that you have done. You and other classes before. I've shared this message with everybody we've met with, and I say it sincerely. We are really in a great place as a program. And much of that is because of the foundation that you all set down for us. And we've been able to be a part of continuing that and building upon that. But we really appreciate, and our eyes are wide open to the work and the legacy that you all left. And we appreciate that. And secondly, I would just say one of my goals in these opportunities to connect is to hopefully connect the past with the present. And we have an amazing group of young women. They are just rock stars in every way. And I think they would really benefit from a connection to the past, to the former players, and seeing how well you've all done and grown, and your lives have just been, not all roses, but certainly you've all done so well. They would just really benefit from that. So I'm hoping as we move forward, we can make those connections and they get an opportunity to meet the people who built the foundation that they now are excelling upon. So I hope we can do that. With that said, I would just ask you any questions that you have for me regarding the program or advice you want to give a relatively new Bucknellian. I know the names of a lot of the buildings. I haven't been to most of them yet. So any advice or any questions you have, I'd love to hear them. Casey, we'll start with you.
I'm curious on the season. So the season ended abruptly, correct?
Right. Yes.
Can you share a little bit about how that was and how the girls are with it happening like that, and then how is it shaping up now given our current environment?
Yeah, good question. So we kind of went from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows really quickly. I know you mentioned not getting to play in your championship game. We had, we really had a great year, especially in the Patriot League. We'd won the regular season by 4 games after being picked third in the regular preseason poll. So we were really playing good basketball. We were going to play all our playoff games at home. And we were actually preparing. We had just left the court from our pregame walkthrough. We were going to play Holy Cross that night in the conference semifinal when we got the word that the Patriot League tournament was going to be shut down. And so that was very disappointing. Mm-hmm. But there was a ray of hope in that the NCAA had not made the announcement they were going to shut down the NCAA tournament. And we knew as the regular season champ that if they had the NCAA tournament, we would go for the Patriot League having won the regular season. So we had a glimmer of hope there, but that was squashed quickly too. And then it was just, we essentially went from preparing to play, and within certainly 24 hours, most of our kids were gone. Not just the season was over. They went to their dorm, got their stuff, and were gone for good because they had shut campus down. And so I think the abrupt nature of it was hard. The inability to celebrate the success that we had, not having the ability to maybe culminate an amazing season with kind of that championship moment that all coaches and players dream about, cutting a net, all things. It's disappointing, so we're just one group in many of groups who didn't get that opportunity. But I can't tell you, our student athletes were amazing, how they handled it. I was impressed with them from day one when I met them on my interview, and that just increased as the year went on and got to know them. They're amazing. And so really lucky to be the coach, that's for sure.
Are you training with them now, or can you train with them now?
So, I mean, everybody has has strength and conditioning program that's going, which has been difficult because most gyms were closed, even at home.
Just to do that, yeah.
Some kids may have some strength equipment, some may not. So our strength staff, Matt Bainey and his crew, have done a great job of kind of fitting that to each individual based on what they had available to them. In terms of basketball specific training, it's like most summers in that they go home with a very clear idea of what we want them to work on.
Yeah.
But as you know, if you're not self-driven at anything, the ability to improve is very difficult if you're not willing to put the work in when nobody's watching. So I think they're all working at it. I trust them. I think we'll be better when they get back, but it's been difficult. And the biggest piece is the plan was to have them back in summer for 5 or 6 weeks where we get to work with them 8 hours a week. That's not going to happen. So
Yeah. Thanks.
we miss Kim.
I know, I was just going to kind of follow up on that. I've been curious about just like, obviously spring sports got taken away completely, but these kids, so you guys got in most of your season, so that counts as one of their years of eligibility, obviously, right? Because
Yes.
So they lose. That's just, that really stinks. And how many seniors did you have?
So we had 2 seniors. We had a young lady from Arkansas who is doing great. She had a job, in the middle of the winter. She had already been offered a job in Chicago, so she's already started in a big firm there. And then our other senior, Ellie Mack, who was the conference player of the year,
Wow.
she has a 5th year of eligibility because she sat out her freshman year with a knee injury.
Oh, well, that's
Yeah.
good. At least she has another year. That's excellent. I
Yeah, it's
really
good
feel
for
for
her.
those seniors. I know. I feel so badly for those seniors. That's who in all of the seniors and high school seniors. Honestly, I've really been thinking about all the college athletes out there that were seniors. And then when I heard the spring sports, at least I think they're getting their eligibility right there because they didn't play. I think
Yeah.
at least that's good for the spring. But I was wondering about winter too. That they got cut short and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, I think most programs across the country were done. Basically every league in the country was into the conference tournament. So at least some teams had been eliminated. Virtually.
Right, but the people that really mattered for,
Yeah, well,
come on.
those of us that were still playing had potentially a few games left. And then of course, for the top teams.
It's going to be like what could have been.
Yeah.
So, but at least most of them are back, or almost all of them are back. So that's good. You can do it again next year.
I like it. I like the sounds of that.
Yeah.
I was just looking at the roster online just to see, because usually the faces I'm familiar with, but sometimes the names I need a reminder. And I can't believe they're 20. I'm 20 years older than these guys. But yeah, anyway, that's.
Don't count, Lori.
That's nuts.
Keep adding.
It's only
Sorry, Kim, I didn't.
2, Lori. Think of it as 2. And then don't say decades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 decades.
2 older
Right,
than
right.
them. Skip the decades.
I have a question as a mom. Can I ask a question as a mom?
Sure.
The recruiting process, how has it evolved since because I'm going to be honest, when I got recruited by Bucknell, my coach saw me play on video only.
Yeah.
That's how old I am.
Yeah. Well, we're back to the future now because it's all on video right now as well.
Right.
But I would say regular recruiting, and I think maybe it was Lori who mentioned doing a lot of camps. That has really gone by the wayside. The vast majority of recruiting isn't camps, and it isn't even really high school playing. It's summer basketball, spring and summer. It's travel basketball. They have really cornered the market. The ability to give coaches an opportunity to see thousands of kids under one roof over the course of 3 or 4 days has really provided exposure for the kid and for the coaches. And so that's really what drives our world these days is the travel basketball. I will say that while that's the best way to get the most exposure, I don't think it's the only way. I mean, we're finding out right now, we probably get 12, 15, maybe on some days 20 20 videos from student athletes across the country saying, Coach, take a look. And so that's maybe more than it would have normally been. But AAU is not the only way. If you're good enough, it's our job to find you. It could be a coach calling us about a kid or anything. But for the most part, it's that spring and summer basketball that are driving the
Not to take this like down the path that long, but do you have pockets? Like what regions are you interested in or
yeah.
feel good about, Yeah.
So I think that's one of the strengths of the Bucknell brand is we can recruit nationally. And certainly even if, California is a great place for Bucknellians. I know there's a bunch out there. The men's team is out there, and, we're doing our best to get out there as well. But even for young people and families who maybe haven't heard of Bucknell, once they get a glimpse and understand the balance of academics and high-level athletics that Bucknell can provide, we check the boxes for a lot of people.
And scholarship now.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
And the scholarship is always a powerful thing. But
right.
with you guys, I think maybe all three of you to some extent mentioned when you stepped foot on the campus, you knew. And so to me, that's a piece of the process that we're losing through the COVID and the inability to have kids visit is this is a special place. And I know that not everybody's going to feel the way that you guys did, but I know a lot of them would. And so we're missing that piece of it right now. I think the greatest sell for Bucknell is Bucknell. And when you come here, you feel it. And so I look forward to the day when we can get people back on our campus because there is no better pitch that we have than what we are.
Yeah, I was just going to add to the original question that I feel like the alumni network is always interested and kind of willing, right? Like there's not a year that passes that I hear one of our friends say, I need to get back to campus, or mention something in the news about the women's team, right? So I feel like as far as your interest in connecting girls to alumni, or maybe using that in some way, I think you have plenty of people that would help you in that,
Awesome.
So thinking creatively during this time, but then just, for more of a long-term strategy, I feel like I can't imagine. And I think I can speak for all generations. I know we're kind of on the older end of being relevant, I should say, to the girls that are in school.
We're just in our prime, Lori.
The 20 and 30-year-olds, I feel, at least the ones that I've met and through the years, I feel the same feeling, same vibes with that group. So I feel like you have a lot to tap into there if you want.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah. And I don't know, I'm waiting for the alumni games to come back, with some vengeance, because I feel like we've had a few that were really fun events.
Yeah.
And
well, we had a fun time last year. We had some, Todd would remember better than me. We went all the way back. Our most veteran returner was class of what? Do you remember, Todd?
70 something.
Yeah. And all the way up.
And she played in the game.
She did. So
nice.
it was a lot of fun. I think we understand the challenges there are with both travel and families and coaching 3 teams and
right
else. But we're here. We'll continue to outreach and we look forward to the day we get everybody back and celebrate Bucknell women's basketball, and appreciate all of you as well.
Sounds good. Thank
Todd,
you.
that's all I have, buddy.
All right. Well, I just want to echo Coach's sentiments and thank you, ladies, for taking the time out today. This was a lot of fun. It was great to see you enjoying catching up with each other as well as, chatting with Coach a little bit. I know we'll see you back for the alumni games if and when you can make it. This year, as Coach mentioned, we did have one, and we actually went to a 3-on-3 format. I thought it was going to be easier, but I think in hindsight, it was a little tough because you really didn't have a lot of time to rest. So it was fun. But again, thank you, ladies, for doing this, and I'm glad to hear your families are all well and safe and healthy in these times. And we look forward to seeing you at a future Bucknell game. So thanks a lot, and go Bison.